Hey everybody, it's Preston here, aka Godzilla Hawk, and I have two special guests here on this show, or at least this episode or video topic. So first of all, I'd like to introduce to you Leon, aka Scorpion Death Drop. How are you doing, my man?
Um, Not too bad yourselves.
I'm doing fine, thank you. And we're also here with one of my good buddies, probably one of my biggest fans on YouTube. Good buddy of mine, ladies and gentlemen. I give you Scott Casey Gale, aka Will Ferrell number one.
Hello.
Hey man, how you doing?
Very good.
That is awesome. So all three of us, we're going to be doing this video. We're going to talk about Hell in a Cell. This is a Hell in a Cell predictions video. We know the pay-per-view's tomorrow, and I figured we get our thoughts about it. This is the first time I'm doing this live stream on this new advanced shit, so I got it figured out. So special thanks to Scott for that. Thank you, buddy, for helping me with this video out. But right now, we're going to go over the matches. We're going to give our predictions, and we're just going to talk. Because there is one thing I'm going to rant on, and we'll get to that. I think we all know what that is, but we'll get to that. So we're just going to discuss the matches, and we're going to give our thoughts. So first, let's just start with the match that was just made, and we're not doing a pre-show. We're not going to do the pre-show match. So first match, it's going to be Bayley versus Dana Brooke. I'll give them credit. At least they're doing something else with Dana Brooke and not having her be Charlotte's bitch. At least they're trying to push her as a singles competitor. But it feels a little random doing this now. But we'll start with you, Scott. I mean, what are your honest thoughts about this? What's your prediction?
It's interesting. I'm thinking Bailey's gonna win. I mean, WWE needs to put Bailey over this time. She deserves it more than Dana Brooke.
And Leon, I know you're very detailed. I know you like to talk quite a bit, so I'm gonna let the floor go to you. What are your thoughts about this whole situation? What's your prediction, and do you have anything else to comment on?
Well, from what I've been seeing in this feud so far, it seems that they're like making Dana Brooke a little overpowered than they should have. And I have to agree with Scott. He basically hit the nail right on the head. Bailey should be going over in this match, if anything.
And I agree. Now here's the thing. Now I don't know if you guys actually probably already know this because we get this. Have you noticed there's something a little different ever since Bayley came on the main roster? Really think about it. If you watched NXT and you've watched Bayley since NXT, you've seen her grow, and you compare that Bayley to this Bayley, there's something different. You could tell there's something different. Like, why was Bayley getting so over on NXT? But then when she moves on to the so-called flagship show, Monday Night Raw, she's not getting as big of a reaction. What are your thoughts about this? Like, what do you think the problem is? Because you can tell this is not the same Bayley from NXT. There's something different. There's something missing. I mean, do any of you guys want to shoot? Go ahead.
Actually, I have your answer. It's the crowds. The crowd of NXT and the main roster are different. They're similar, but they're a different fan base.
Different fan base. Well, you know, it's actually quite funny. And I was gonna do a video on this, but I have to work out some details. I'm trying to do a vlog, but my phone's not connecting. But I went to an NXT live event last night and in San Jose. The crowd was amazing. The crowd was into the matches, even the joke matches. The crowd was on fire. It was a blast. I'm not gonna lie. It was one of the most fun times I ever had at any event. While Raw was good, when I went there, it wasn't as exciting because the crowd wasn't into it as much. So, and for all I know, I think it's just the writing. It's just how they're booking Bayley. I don't know what it is. I just think that Bayley seems a little bit more cornier or campier. Like they're like with NXT, she was treated like that fangirl, but and the main roster, they treat her like a too much of a fangirl. I mean, have you noticed recently, like in her past promos, she's been kind of like acting shy. You know, she'll cut promos like, "Yeah, I'm really excited to be champion and facing Sasha." It's just like that. That's not Bailey. Like Bailey's not that type of person. She wouldn't stutter or cut her lines like that. I mean, you've obviously noticed that, Scott. You've noticed that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you too, Leon, right?
Yeah, I noticed this with a lot of superstars. As soon as they come to the main roster, they like fuck their whole potential up. The difference between NXT, they don't like strictly force them to say certain stuff like the main roster does. I think that's the main issue here.
Exactly. Well, unless you're Roman Reigns, that you'll get pushed either way.
Yeah.
Hey, don't. We're gonna get to that because I want to rant on that, and Leon, I really want you to rant on that because that's gonna be the highlight right there. But overall, a lot of people are gonna complain about Dana Brooke winning. Honestly, giving her a win is not Bailey. Burying Bailey is just. Let's be honest. Dana Brooke hasn't been winning matches anyway, so it's kind of nice to have her win. The problem was she botched. She botched. All it was, she did like a basic move, and it looked like she just pinned her clean with an awkward move. It was so bad. I was so confused. Like, was this a botch? If I had to agree, I would probably say, yeah, Bailey. I mean, if you're gonna do Bailey and Sasha Banks at WrestleMania, you need to start using Bailey now. You need to push her. You need to start having the fans get behind her. You know, if you have her keep losing, you're not going to make her stronger. You're just going to continue to make her weaker. You need to keep that momentum going because eventually we don't want to see Sasha and Charlotte over and over again. That's why you need new talent. So start using Bailey as much as possible. Get her some wins. Next one. This one, Enzo and Cass versus the Club. Scott, what are your thoughts about this whole situation, and who do you think's going over?
I hope the club goes over because Enzo and Cass went over the last time. This time the club needs it. I don't know what they're trying to do with these guys, but they should be in the tag team title division already.
And Leon, what about you?
Basically, what Scott said. I think Enzo Amore and Big Cass get over. Don't get me wrong; they get over with the crowd easily. Even NXT, they had no problem getting over the crowd, but the club needs to get over on this one because they're like pushing them like a motherfucker. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I agree too. You know, everybody said the exact same thing. Everybody has the exact same opinion. I'm a big Enzo Cass fan. That's not going to change. But Gallows and Anderson are that what happened to them? That they're trios jokes. They've lost too much. And again, none of these guys have really won anything big in a while. Enzo and Cass are over with the crowd, so even if they were to lose, it's not going to hurt their momentum. Gallows and Anderson need this win, but it's going to be Enzo and Cass. Gallows and Anderson should be dominant forces, and they're not using them. Clearly, WWE did not watch New Japan how they were booked, like compared to them. Here, they're absolute jokes. They should have ended the streak of the New Day's title reign. They didn't. They didn't pull the trigger, and they just said, fuck it. And now you're having this random tag match, and probably just to get Enzo and Cass over. Bigger, which they're already over. Like, I don't know why you need to give them this victory. If anybody deserves a victory more, it's the club. They honestly need a victory. They're trios jokes. I'm honestly getting sick of it. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. I mean, I'm going to say Enzo and Cass, but the club should go over. Next one. This one's a very intriguing one. A lot of mixed feelings about this one. New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Scott, what are your thoughts about this whole situation, and who do you think is going to win?
It's interesting. I really want Cesaro and Sheamus to win because I'm getting sick and tired of New Day as champions, but WWE is probably going to be typical and put the New Day over.
And Leon, do you have anything to cap on that?
I don't know why WWE wants to break Demolition's title reign of whichever amount of days it is. I can't fucking remember, and quite frankly, I don't give a shit because that's kind of irrelevant. But you get the point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you have a prediction? Do you have a preference of who you think should go over, or who do you want to go over, or what do you think is going to happen? Like, do you think New Day is going to beat Demolition's tag reign, or do you think that Sheamus and Cesaro are going to be the ones to end this title reign streak?
I think the New Day are gonna beat Demolition's title reign. That's what I think was gonna happen.
Yeah. It's here's the thing. New Day, this really is the equivalent of Punk's title reign, where they're entertaining, but there comes a time when somebody kind of deserves to lose the titles. But exactly, I just don't think Cesaro and Sheamus should be the ones to end the streak. The same thing with The Rock. The Rock was I was pissed off that day. It made no sense. I hate it. I'm sorry. It made sense because they want to do Rock and Cena too, but not gonna even get into that. But it's just Cesaro and Sheamus deserve better. Sheamus, I'm not a fan of, but Cesaro should be freaking going to SmackDown. I've said so many times, get him to SmackDown. I don't care. I'm sick of him staying on Raw. I'm sick of him not being used right. I mean, for God's sakes, this man puts up a great match with Sheamus at Night Champion or Clash of Champions, and this is his reward. It's just gaining a tag team opportunity, which he will most likely probably fail anyway. And it doesn't make any sense. I'm honestly getting sick of this. Like, what are you guys' thoughts? Like, do you honestly think Cesaro should still stay on Raw, or do you think he needs to go to SmackDown?
He needs to go to SmackDown pronto.
He needs to go to SmackDown, most definitely.
I agree. This is tough. I kind of want Cesaro and Sheamus to win because I'm just sick of New Day, but at the same time, I want Cesaro to go to SmackDown, so I would want New Day to win. So I'm going to see. This is hard. It's like something bad's going to happen either way. I'm going to just say New Day. I'm going to say New Day's going to win and they're going to retain, and maybe they'll go on to beat Demolition's tag reign. Next match. T.J. Perkins versus Brian Kendrick. Scott, your thoughts about this? You know what? Actually, before we get into the match, I want everybody's opinion on the Cruiserweight division right now. Honest opinions. What are the positives and negatives? And why do you think it's not working? Scott, we'll start with you.
It's not working because I think it's because if they were on SmackDown, they'd be booked a lot better. But there's a lot of things missing, like those big high-flying spots that's just missing because apparently WWE creator wanted to tone down on the high-flying spots because they think it's too dangerous or something. But honestly, I think T.J. Perkins should win this match. That's why I'm voting for it. But the Cruiserweight division needs a lot of fixing. But the good thing is it's interesting, but it could be better.
And Leon?
I'm going to get with the good part first. The good part, they're bringing a lot of these new guys in, which I think is good, but I kind of understand where WWE is coming from by not having them do as much high-flying moves as they did in the Cruiserweight Classic because of the losses, this, that, and the other fucking thing. But they need to, like, expand it to another brand. I don't know why they just keep it on one brand. That's just plain up retarded, in my opinion.
And I've noticed, too, like, I don't know if you guys noticed. Notice that Raw is a little more negative while SmackDown seems a little bit more positive. Like, have you noticed, like, when you're watching a Raw, you feel negative, but when you're watching SmackDown, you feel more things. Yeah. So, do you think if they were to put the Cruiserweight division either on SmackDown, if they were to do that before, or even they start putting them on SmackDown, do you think like they would get a better reception, or do you think it'd probably stay the same?
I think they'll get a better reception.
If they were on SmackDown, they would get a lot more better reception because they're not like as forced on SmackDown like they are on Raw.
And how about this? Honestly, Scott kind of talked about it a little bit, but if you were in Kevin Dunn's shoes or Vince McMahon's shoes, what would you do to make this division better? And what would you do to make people interested in TJ Perkins as a character and a wrestler? Because people are shitting on TJ Perkins already. and he's one of my favorites. I've been a big fan of him since TNA when he was Manic. But I want your thoughts. Like, what would you do to make this division better, and what would you do with TJ Perkins to make him the face of the cruiserweight division, make him more likable?
To make the cruiserweight division, I would like expand it to 2 different brands, like a certain number of superstars on Raw and a certain number of superstars on SmackDown. And as TJ Perkins, I'm going to have to like observe him first to see where we go from there. If I were in his shoes, more or less.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I think TJ Perkins is going to win. I think eventually they will put the title on Brian Kendrick, but it's too soon. I mean, you want the crowd to start knowing who TJ Perkins is. He's slowly starting to get some popularity. So just throwing the belt on Brian now would be kind of a stupid decision. Mm-hmm. Just the fact that also TJ just won the title. So just having him lose it in just a couple months' time after the Cruiserweight Classic, it just be bad booking. But I guarantee you they will throw the belt on Kendrick in the near future. Now, let's go into the fun part. So first of all, I'm going to start off with this match first, because this is the match that is going to be probably lost in the shadows. The Universal Championship match, Hell in a Cell, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens. I think we can all agree that these guys are great athletes. Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
Most definitely, yeah.
And we can both agree that these guys can probably have a good match inside Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
But, however, we can all agree that the build-up and the feud is just all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no doubt. The build-up has gone to fucking shit.
I mean, honestly, this feels like this is more like a Jericho feud. Like, it just doesn't add up. Like, this is supposed to be Owens and Rollins feud. Why is Jericho in the mix? I get Triple H because they're going to do Seth Rollins and Triple H in the near future. That's a given. But you think you want to push Owens and just, Rollins. Like, why are you making this more about the list of Jericho and Chris Jericho?
Can I cut you off right there for a second?
Yeah, no, go ahead, Leon. Go ahead.
Now, the Rollins and Triple H feud, they were going to do this at WrestleMania 32, but because Rollins got injured, that was scrapped. So they're doing it this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a good point, and that was actually a very good point on that. But the thing is, this will be a good match, but the problem is I'm not as excited is because the build-up is just all over the place. It feels just more like Chris Jericho's just the main guy along with the list, and Rollins and Owens are just the guys. Like it's almost like this. It's almost like freaking Owens and Rollins are the puppets, and Jericho's like the puppet master, and everybody's paying attention to the puppet master rather than the puppet trying to entertain the fans. That's how I see it. I mean,
yeah.
do you guys disagree with me on that, or is there something else you want to add on to that?
I agree.
I agree 100%. You basically hit the nail right on the head.
Now, here's the big question: who do you think's what's your prediction? What's gonna happen? Because I think we all know who's gonna win, but does anybody have a certain prediction on how it's going to end?
I think Kevin Owens is gonna win. I see Jericho somehow getting involved in that, helping Kevin Owens, because they shouldn't really put Jericho in it, but I definitely know that he's gonna get involved some way somehow.
And you, Leon?
I think Owens is going to win. Triple H might interfere, depending how they book it.
True. And then one last thing before we get on to the main events, so to speak. Do you see them doing a Jericho and Owens feud by, let's say, maybe Survivor Series or even Roadblock time? Like, do you honestly think that they're going to have a title feud? And if so, when do you think it'll be?
I think they'll start like around Survivor Series, then extend it to the Royal Rumble, possibly.
Yeah, I agree with what Leon said.
All right. Well, yeah. So, like I said, this match I think is going to be good. I think Kevin's going to walk out. I think this is going to be the match that's going to be kind of like in the shadows of, I would say, of all the matches, which isn't a bad thing, but it's just one of those things where you're not as excited for. Like, you know, this could be a good match, but it's just the build-up has been just all over the place. Now let's get on to ranting. Leon, that this is where you come in, that most likely, because this is the best part. Here we go. Are we ready? Yeah, are we ready? Scott's got a smile on his face. I know exactly. I know. I think we all know what's coming out. Okay, wait. I gotta stick my buck teeth out because I gotta be Kevin Dunn here. Okay, so let's go. We got get a match on the card for freaking the United States Championship. Let me get my paper here. Let's see. How are we gonna sell this card? Oh, Roman Reigns versus Rusev again. That'll get the fans to like Roman Reigns because nobody likes Rusev. Oh, and let's make it Hell in a Cell. Yeah, and that'll be one of the main events too. Yeah, it'll be one of the main events. The crowd's gonna love Roman even more. Now let's get the fucking bullshit out of the way. Like, fuck that shit. I'm honestly sick of this. Seriously, who's excited for this match? Honestly, like, who thought that this was gonna make Roman go over? How is this gonna make Roman? How, like, Leon, to just start with you. Take it away. Like,
this is like what, the 10,000th time we've seen this fucking match now? For Christ's sake! Like, I don't get why you had to bring Rusev's family up like that. If Rusev gave him permission, Rusev, you are a fucking idiot. Because anything you give WWE permission to use, they will profit off that until the day you fucking die. You fucking piece of shit.
Just and let's keep in mind, guys. Let's keep in mind. Let's pretend that the stuff that Roman and Rusev had in the very, very past, like at Royal Rumble time, let's say that they exist. That those were just matches. Those weren't rivalries. They were just matches. Let's start this feud at this wedding ceremony. So you're telling me Rusev's supposed to be the bad guy, and Roman's the good guy, but yet Roman's the one that started this whole feud by interrupting a wedding ceremony. He insulted Rusev, and he insulted his wife, Lana, numerous occasions, does that stupid smirk crap. He injures Rusev so they can't have a match. Freaking, then Rusev has his freaking family photo albums or whatever they are, and then Roman freaking interrupts that, and you're telling me we're supposed to be behind. And you're telling me Roman Reigns is the babyface in this feud. Can someone, Leon or Scott, can someone explain this to me, how this makes Roman look like a good guy?
I disagree. This does not make him look like a good guy at all. Whoever thinks otherwise is a fucking retard. Straight up.
Scott, let's keep on to you. Like, how does this make him into a hero?
I know, but this is the most screwed up field ever. I'm not even interested in it. I'm sick and tired of Roman Reigns being shoved down a pole. They're making him John Cena version 2.0, and it's not needed.
It's freaking sad when I'm actually becoming more of a Cena fan than Roman Reigns at this point. And I'm one of the biggest Cena haters, but at least Cena's actually starting to put over talent. He's actually freaking doing wrestling moves.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of doing the same old shit. I mean, you know how sad it is with Roman Reigns now? Roman Reigns now, I love this one too. Roman Reigns versus Conor McGregor. You know, that'll get Roman Reigns over, right? Right, guys? Well, how about let's do Roman Reigns' custom entrance and we'll give him Goldberg's entrance. Yeah, because they're going through the spear. Everyone loves Goldberg. Yeah, that'll make Roman look strong. Or how about this? Oh, let's make an article why people love Sasha Banks and Roman Reigns. Yeah, because people like Sasha Banks, that people will love Roman. Yeah, that'll make him look good. So, Leon, let's go on to you. It's just,
Here's the difference. Wrestling is not actually a sport. MMA, on the other hand, is. And with WWE, it's fake wrestling. But with MMA is fucking legit. Ask Brandon Rain, a.k.a. Willsboro Entertainment. He was actually in the Octagon Octagon, excuse me. Ask him what it's like to be in there. He's been in there.
Just like, and why is this a Hell in a Cell? Like, it's bad enough these guys are facing off, but why is this Hell in a Cell? Can someone explain that to me? Why this is a Hell in a Cell match?
To me, it's a waste of time for it to be a Hell in a Cell.
Leon, do you have anything to cap on that? Because I don't know why. It's bad enough we're seeing this match again, but it's even worse when it's in Hell in a Cell.
We've seen this match like over 1,000 times. After this, just get it over with. We don't need to see this match anymore. Like, goddamn.
It's gone to a point where I'd rather see Ziggler and freaking Kofi Kingston again. It's gone to that point. I can't stand it. I mean, how they're gonna get Roman Reigns over? Oh, he's gonna Superman punch the entire. He's gonna Superman punch Rusev through the cell, and the entire cell's gonna collapse. That'll give Roman Reigns over. I think we all know who's winning, right? But we all know who we want to win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's even a question. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm not looking for that match. I honestly hope that match is the opener, so we can get that crap out of the way. I'm not joking. I don't want to see that match. I don't care. But now let's move on to the main event. The match that I personally think a lot of people think should be the true main event. The match that I think should go on last. And the match that makes people actually give a shit about this pay-per-view. Sasha Banks versus Charlotte Hell in a Cell. First of all, we're going to start with you, Scott, and then we'll go over to you, Leon. What are your thoughts about them pulling the trigger finally and doing a Hell in a Cell match for the women's division?
I think this is a big change for the women's division. I think this is the build-up is good. I think this is going to keep a lot of asses in the seats, and Sasha Banks, in my opinion, is going to go over. I think this is going to change history in Hell in a Cell. People are going to be talking about this match nonstop because these two women can go. They can wrestle.
And you, Leon?
I agree with Scott, but there's one little problem that I have with this main event. If one of them does this supposed dive off of the cell spot that they claim that they're going to do, and one of them gets injured, who's going to be fucking responsible for that then? Like, I highly suggest that they don't do that because it could break their bones big time.
And I did hear about that. Apparently, I think it was I believe Charlotte that asked Vince if she could do. I think it was a moonsault off the top of the cell, but Vince reportedly denied it almost immediately. Doing a high-risk spot, I understand why they don't want to do it yet. That's understandable. I'm not expecting high spots. I don't honestly want that. I just want a good match. Who knows? Maybe this match will be even better. I just think this needs to main event. Now, here's the thing. Do you think this could... Now, here's the million-dollar question. Do you think this match will make or break the future women's division from now to the future? Whether this match is good or not, do you think this will make or break the women's division moving forward?
Yeah, I think this is going to be really, really good. I think it's going to cause a lot of controversy. I think it's going to really change the face of the women's division as we know it. It's going to be definitely, I think it's definitely going to break a record in the Hell in a Cell fights too.
And
you see a lot of potential.
There's a 50% chance that it might have a negative impact, which I highly doubt will happen, but it's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, I agree. That, like I said, this is a big gamble that we've never seen this done before. Like I said, this could make or break the women's division. If this match ends up being good, then it'll be, I think it'll be a lot more positive for women in the future. Who knows? Maybe the women will main event a WrestleMania or a bigger pay-per-view, which would be great for them. But at the same time, if this is going to be the main event, and if this ends up being a boring or a terrible match, then I think this will have people kind of like having second thoughts on the whole women's division thing, and maybe not going back to square one, which is we don't want. We don't want it back to square one. We've seen what they did with the Divas division, so we need change, and this is a good startup. Now, here's another question, because I honestly thought about this too. Obviously, these two have to use the cell, but obviously, most likely, they're not going to use the top of the cell like Leon said, because that'll cause way too much injuries, and that's way too risky. But, like, do you see any of these women using weapons? Because when was the last time you seen women use weapons on each other? So I just want to make sure that they're willing to even use maybe like a few weapons. I'm not saying like they have to use like 1,000 weapons, but maybe like a couple. And if so, like, do you see any of them using any sort of weapons at all, or do you think it's just going to be a basic wrestling match, but they're going to use the cell like every once in a while?
I think they might use a couple candlesticks in the match and some steel chairs, but that's about it. I don't know how far they're going to go, though.
And you, Leon?
I think they might, because most of those Hell in a Cell matches are no DQ biased anyway, so I think they might.
Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe they'll put a table in the mix. That's a kind of a big gamble, but maybe they could do something where maybe like Charlotte does a moonsault from the top row. Maybe puts Sasha Banks through the table, could be a spot, or maybe vice versa. Maybe Sasha does a frog splash. I could see them doing that. Maybe a couple kendo sticks if they want to. Maybe a steel chair. But I don't see them like doing anything too crazy. I don't see them like maybe bringing a ladder. I don't see them doing any of that stuff. Or who knows? Maybe they will do a ladder. Maybe that will be their big spot. Maybe like Charlotte gets a big old ladder in the ring. She does the moonsault from the top ladder or something. So that way we get some sort of spot in, but it's not from the top of the cell. It could be something like that. But either that, let's go over. Scott, what match are you looking forward to the most?
Sasha Banks versus Charlotte. More than the Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins.
And then Leon, what about you?
Same thing, the Hell in a Cell match between Charlotte and Sasha Banks, because I couldn't really give two fucks about any of the other matches.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, and I want to care about Rollins and Kevin Owens. I really do, but the build-up is just all over the place. Like, again, I am curious to see what they do, and it could be a great match, but I don't think it should main event. In fact, the only one out of all the matches, the only one that has been given the build-up is Sasha and Charlotte. It's the only match people care about, and it's the match that has had people talking like, "Oh my God, that we're getting this match finally! Like, holy shit, this is big." Oh, excuse me. But yeah, so that's pretty much our predictions right there. Yeah, I'm picking Sasha Banks to go over. I don't think Charlotte's going to win. It'd be stupid to give it to her. And you know what? Actually, you know what? Before we go, I just remember this, because there's this big rumor going around. I want your honest opinions. Do you think that the fans of Boston tomorrow, do you think they will hijack the pay-per-view tomorrow? Because I think there's been rumors about that. Scott, I think you might have heard about that. Leon, maybe you too. But Scott, we'll start with you. Do you think the fans will hijack this pay-per-view?
Most likely.
And will they get pissed off? Will they get pissed off if Sasha and Charlotte's not the main event?
I think so. I think they're going to be doing that at boring chants and chatting like for the announcers again. I think I definitely see the fans hijacking the show. To me, it's somehow I think it's gonna happen.
And then you, Leon, what about your final thoughts about this?
I think they might, because you got to remember, Boston is a very high populated Irish area, so that's a big possibility. When I mean big, I'm not talking about chunk change here. I mean drastically big.
Yeah, I mean, let's go over very quickly all the big venues when it comes to real wrestling fan, places. We got Boston, Chicago's a big one. The UK's another big one. They're very vocal. Philadelphia, I still think my favorite was the Ballroom. One Night Stand was still my favorite crowd. The crowd fucking was anti-Cena. They really made the show fun. Were there any other crowds that were good as well, or did very well at hijacking shows, Scott. I know there might be a couple more.
Yeah, there was one in 2015, that night after WrestleMania 29. That's when they really hijacked the show.
Oh yeah, well that's usually the Raw after Mania. Usually every Raw after Mania.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
that's usually after Raw. I think Texas is another one.
Mm-hmm.
oh yes, I forgot about Texas. Case in point, WrestleMania 32 and NXT Takeover Dallas. I mean, that was like the first time we ever heard a "fuck PG" chant at an NXT show, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so.
And Brooklyn's another one.
Well, I forgot about that. Brooklyn too. Both Summer Slams. We know how they are with Roman Reigns. We know how they're with guys like John Cena, and the Universal title freaking reveal. We all know how well that turned out. But yeah, I think Boston, and the fact that this is Sasha's hometown, you might as well just have the hometown hero just main event, and plus it would be a right in step direction. Some people are saying that tomorrow should not be the night they main event yet. Scott, do you agree with that statement? Do you think they should not main event tomorrow? Do you think it's just too soon, or do you think this is the right time?
I think it may be somewhat the right time for them to main event.
And Leon, what about you? The last thing.
If they're not going to be in the main event, then why put them both on the advertising poster? That makes no goddamn sense. Excuse me.
Hey, remember Hell in a Cell 2013? R-Truth was on the cover, and he wasn't even on the show.
Yeah.
You forgot about that one, right? Where he's in the freaking suit and everything. He wasn't even on the show.
Yeah.
I wasn't even watching the product back in 2013. I didn't start watching it again until WrestleMania 30 or WrestleMania 29 after that matter. I shit you fucking not.
I'm not kidding you. Like the main event that was Daniel Bryan and freaking Randy Orton inside Hell in a Cell. But the advertising poster was R-Truth in a suit, and he wasn't even on any match. I'm not joking. The poster exists. Look up freaking Hell in a Cell 2013, or I'll send you a picture, but it's legit. It's R-Truth on the poster, and he wasn't even on the card. It's hilarious. So, they can always do shit like that. We all know that. But either of that, those are our predictions right there. We are very curious to see how the show goes. I'm more interested in the Hell in a Cell for the women's match. I really am praying this will be a good match. That's what I'm praying for. I just want a good show. And the only thing I don't care about is Rusev and Reigns. In fact, I'd rather see Dana Brooke and Bayley 1,000 more times before I ever see a freaking another Rusev Roman Reigns match. That's how bad it is. It's just boring. No one cares. And I hope Roman Reigns gets a freaking character change and they do something different with him, because I can't stand him at this point. They need to do something else. But besides that, I'm really curious on this pay-per-view. We're all curious about this pay-per-view tomorrow. We're all going to watch it. I might do live reactions tomorrow. I really doubt. If anything, I'll most likely do a live reactions to the women's match, just due to the fact that's going to be kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime thing, at least for now. Because for all we know, they may never do this again, right? So I'd rather be safe and secure and just do a live reactions just for that match, baby. That's a possibility. I'm not going to guarantee it, but I guarantee there will be a review on this pay-per-view. But out of that, thank you guys for watching this video. Scott, thank you so much for coming, and Leon, thank you so much for being a guest on my show. It was a lot of fun. Do you guys have any last comments, whether it's on the show or anything in the future? Start with you, Scott. Do you have any last words?
Listen, a shout out to my channel, Will Phil, #1 international wrestling shooters in NWS Revolution. Shout out to your channel, Godzilla Hawk.
Thank you. And Leon, any last words before we end this video?
Well, you can subscribe to my channel, The Scorpion Death Trap, or you can follow me on my Twitter at AntiFanism98. And if you're a troll, you're getting deleted like a bitch that you are.
Deleted, and you'll be sent a freaking pack of green beans. P.S. Broken Matt for president. But that's about it. But that's it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. And I'll see you guys next time, which hopefully that will probably be tomorrow.
Yeah.
So take care, everyone.